Stoke the Fire. I'm Pamela Cuccinell, and you can find out more about Stoke the Fire at stokethefire.guru. But basically what we do is every week I give you an astrology forecast because I'm a professional astrologer. And then it is supported, augmented, and enhanced by a wonderful piece from my colleague Susie Mazzoli. Susie, say hello.
Hi everyone, welcome to the first week of October. My name is Susie Mazzoli. I'm an energetic channel and I will be offering our meditation today, which will be after the astrology, as we do every week. And I can never believe that we're just racing through the year and this is already the first week of October.
Right, we are essentially approaching the last quarter of 2017. So our focus over the coming weeks is going to be a lot on helping you make the most of this end of the year as we move into, because for a lot of people, we are looking at how things work fiscally. So there will be some attention on to that. But always our approach is the spiritual, which informs everything else. And your spiritual center has so much to do with what your intentions are and how you manifest and what happens throughout the rest of the world. So as individuals, we work collectively to send out a stronger vibration of ideally love and peace and growing into our best selves, which is what we're here to do. So stokethefire.guru began several years ago, actually probably 5 years ago, and it has been a recording that we've sent out to subscribers, and you can subscribe and get the encapsulated essence, which is just about a half hour of Susie and myself talking about the week. And Susie's pieces can be used, they're evergreen, they can be used anytime. My piece is pretty much about what's happening this week, but our subscribers enjoy getting that Sunday so that they can plan their week. You're seeing this on Monday night once we start to put it on YouTube, which for us is a relatively new experience, but we've been enjoying it. We've been hearing from people they're enjoying that too. So we'll just keep learning from it. But I'm, as I said, professional astrologer, and I will start. Susie, shall I start talking about October 2nd, 2015? 15. As I said, we've been doing this for many years. 2017.
I think, Pam, you've been caught up in some bit of time travel there.
Yes, some bit of time travel indeed. And oh, that's an interesting concept, isn't it? How well, we could talk about past lives and time travel and touching different places in history and beyond and healing that way. But right now we're just going to talk about October 2nd, 2017 and the week that succeeds it. So anyway, today for our subscribers, the moon went void of I'm gonna have to do some editing. The moon went void of course at 7:13 a.m. All the times I will give you are Eastern time because Susie and I are in the Northeast of the United States. So please adjust accordingly wherever you are on the planet. So when the moon goes void of course, for those of you who don't know, the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. So the moon basically determines a lot of the energetic mood around us because the moon, through her phases, shows us how emotions move and things shift with nuances of how people feel at different points in time. So when the moon is in a sign, she's basically coloring how people are feeling. Not that the moon causes this, but the moon reflects what's going on down here below. As above, so below. We live in a synchronistic universe, whether we're paying attention to that or not. So as an astrologer, we look at symbols, we look at how things reflect, symbolize, give us information about what's going on now so that we become ideally more self-aware. So when the moon is void of course, she's not making any geometric aspects to any other large heavenly body before she leaves sign. So where she is in the early part of the morning is in the sign of Aquarius, void of course. So when the moon is void, it's not a good time to start something new, to make a connection that's going to be important to you, because nothing's really going to happen with it. It is a good time to wrap up something you have in process or continue with something you have in process. It is a good time to clear off your desk, to organize things, to move in ways that you usually have an emotional attachment to that don't help you make decisions quickly. When the moon is void of course, we usually are less emotionally attached to things, which is why it's not a good time to go in and buy a new dress, because the odds are you're not going to know if you like it or not. You're going to end up returning it anyway. It's okay to go buy a pound of flour if that's what you need, because that's on your list and you need it. Store may be sold out of flour. That can happen too. But that's what it feels like when the moon is void of course. So the moon entered the sign of Pisces as of 10:26 a.m. in the morning on October 2nd, 2017. And once the moon entered the sign of Pisces, we're actually in a very nice energy throughout the day, because what's happening is we're feeling very hopeful and optimistic, even when things don't seem like they're going to come together the way we might like them to. So pay attention to impulses you have, things you do that are like, yeah, you know, I want to do that, or that's something I can make happen. Because if that's the way you're feeling, it may be how you're feeling, but it's not necessarily how things are going to come together. What's maybe a more creative way to think about this point in time is really work on building that spiritual creative muscle you have wherever it may want to go, but know that the only way those hopes, desires, and wishes are going to come to fruition is if you're willing to put your energy, commitment, and support into it, because basically nothing is going to happen without follow through. Nothing is going to magically come together at this point in time. Sometimes it does, but at this point in time, it doesn't without approaching the right authority or finding the inner authority within yourself. So it's a great time to think in terms of what you might want to magnify or make happen and put your energy into it. But just know that it's not going to get off the ground unless you've done your homework. You really have to bring the proposal into whoever you're approaching with a lot of solid data behind it. So it's a time when you can be pulling things together, but you also have to do the work that comes along with it. So lovely evening to meditate, listen to music, dance, do things that are part of what opens you up to higher creativity and higher octaves of spirituality. On Tuesday, similar energy, only it almost starts to feel, I guess magnified or bigger is the word. It's almost like some people may wake up with a feeling like this is what I must do. Other people may wake up with a feeling like it's too big. There's no way I can make it happen. And this is when what I said at the very beginning about individuals coming together for a collective purpose, this is when it becomes really important to realize that even if you're waking up with a desire or a thought of, I would love to uh, bring bring water and supplies to Puerto Rico, or I would love to help the people in India who are affected by flooding, or I would love to help the animals who are being forgotten and in a bad way. And it may feel as though it's insurmountable to help with all the great need that's out there. Or I would like to help the woman next door who just lost a loved one. Whatever the feeling is, it may also be coupled today with, Tuesday, with a sense of, how can I possibly make a difference? Keep in mind that the energetic, vibratory desire to create something that's loving, helpful, and peaceful magnifies once you put it out there and just work on attracting more of the same. If you shut it down, it goes nowhere. So the moon in Pisces, sometimes the Pisces we call it the victim savior axis, because one part is, I'm going out, I'm saving the world, I'm sacrificing my entire life for everything else. And then the other part is, it's too hard, I'm a victim, I can't do anything. And then there's all this information in between of sense of martyrdom, sense of being perpetually helpful, sense of being an artist, a musician, a creative spark, a teacher. Pisces is a very rich sign with all different layers through it, as all the signs are. So we want to experience that feeling of, rather, if you're feeling, not everybody will, but if you wake up or in the early morning, you're feeling a sense of being victimized or a martyr, or it's too hard, just realize you're tapping into something that's bigger, that maybe you're absorbing a lot of what feels impossible, and allow yourself to move through that so that you get to a point where you look around, you say, well, I have food, I have water, I have electricity. Maybe I don't have enough money, but I have things that I can help in some way, even if it's a small way. And put yourself in a place where you're allowing that to happen. Even simple things like prayer or meditation, or some people may call it wistful thinking. But if you're really working on sending loving intention, you're sending loving intention. So I know that was a bit abstract, but what I'm trying to say here is that don't allow yourself to feel small, because the other piece of Pisces is that you are connected to everything, that we are all a piece of this great universal consciousness. And the last thing you want to do is shut it down and make it small. So there's a picture in the sky on Tuesday between Venus and Pluto, which is a very dynamic picture. It's a lot about power. It's a lot about magnifying power, love, money. It can be used for positive and negative, this kind of energy. And so that's why it's really important, and I maybe spent a lot of time on this, in just encouraging you to make the most of when you feel that surge of power. And if you feel like someone may take power away from you, or someone has more power than you do, again, tap into a sense of, well, where is my power? Feet on the ground, feet imagining, if you're in a concrete skyscraper, but imagining your feet rooted to the earth, and absorb up that really delicious earth energy that you are a part of. And say to yourself, I am a powerful piece of the whole, and I matter. You know, there's a reason why Black Lives Matter is such a powerful phrase, because it's basically saying that people who are Black, their lives matter, and matter is a part of the whole in metaphysics. I know I'm tangenting like crazy because I'm talking about Pisces, but Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac because it symbolizes what encompasses everything, how we're all part of the whole. So back to just saying Black Lives Matter, if Black lives don't matter, then we are negating part of the whole. So it's a polarity thing, which maybe Susie and the master teachers will talk about more, but it's all about respecting and being part of the larger piece. So needless to say, we open the week in very deep thought, and you're going to see a lot of back and forth, things getting revealed in the news because Pluto went direct last week. Stuff is just going to continue, and it's really making us distill down to what is it we value most? What is it we care about most? Do we care about being part of the whole, or do we care about me first? So anyway, Pisces. And Tuesday may seem as though you're confronting a lot of these issues head on. Wednesday the 4th, the moon goes void, of course, at 3:19 a.m. and it goes into the sign of Aries not until 4:40 p.m. So we have a whole, most of the workday on the 4th is going to have a void, of course, moon in Pisces. So if you hadn't gotten some resolution on where you felt you were at on Monday and Tuesday with all the big emotional tsunami that will be going on, you may feel very at sea on Wednesday. It's like, where am I going to anchor what I'm doing today? Ideally, what you're doing on Wednesday is kind of coalescing or coming together with a lot of those big thoughts that happened earlier in the week. Once the moon enters the sign of Aries, we're in a very different energetic frame. Things start to move very fast. People become very strident, this is what I want to do now. And there's an immediacy that enters in that really seems very important, very pressing. We also have the harvest moon that occurs on Thursday. And at that point in time, what's happening is the moon in Aries is being informed by the Libra sun. It's lit up by the Libra sun. So an Aries moon is very much about, this is what I want to do, I think. But with the full moon in Aries, basically there's a lot of mitigation, give and take, which is brought up because no, you're not going to have the whole enchilada unless you compromise. The only way you can have the picture that you want to create is if you're willing to play nice. So a lot of diplomacy, not necessarily comfortable on Thursday, as people, you may feel like you're challenged or you have to stand up or declare something or come to terms with an issue that gets thrown on the table. It could have to do with personal finances. It could have to do with things that you want to achieve. It could have to do certainly with a partner in your life, a business partner or a romantic partner or someone else who you know very well, or even an intimate relationship like your doctor, where you challenge what you're being told to do with your body. These are all things that can come up on Thursday. When we go into Friday, the moon goes void, of course, at 6:38 p.m. And the thing about Friday is it starts to feel less confrontive as I look at it than perhaps Thursday felt, where, you know, people may have unleashed or made decisions, or, you know, it's like I'm moving on, or I'm through with that, or this is what we're doing, and yeah, I made a concession, but it's okay. But still, the people who are going to fare best the end of the week are ones who basically looked at, how do I get the most I can out of this decision, and know that there's certain things that need to just be released or considered in a different way, because what I thought I wanted to make happen is really beyond the scope of what can happen, because I care about another person, or because in order to make the deal I have to do this, or whatever. But sometimes, and here's the thing about living in a way that is conscious as opposed to just the unconscious reactions. It's, we may feel that this is what I want to make happen, but, and this is how I want to make it happen. But if we're not open to new possibilities, we basically give ourselves less possibilities. So sometimes, even though you may think that you're giving something up, you're allowing space for something you may not have anticipated to come in. So as of 7:56 p.m. Friday night, the moon enters the sign of Taurus. And after really what's been, in my head, a kind of challenging week, this moon in Taurus really sets up a weekend that can be very restorative. Taurus reminds us to, depending on where you are on the planet, here we are, to really smell the earth, the fecund leaves as they go into the soil, the crisp autumn days, the biting into an apple, the making apple pie, the spending time wrapped in a nice shawl in front of a cozy fire. This is all stuff Moon and Taurus just says, do it, do it, do it, because we just want to relax, savor, enjoy, taste, really the quality and beauty of being human, because we come into this life really a very short period of time. When you're 20, you don't necessarily think so, but as you get older, you do. And so the taking, the savoring moments are really, really important, especially after we've been through what I would say is going to be a pretty intense week. So Friday night, people you love, environments in which you feel comfortable, really sink into your body, into smells, tastes, textures. Saturday, the same, be in nature, be in a place that makes you open your heart and feel spiritually connected. On Sunday, the moon goes void, of course, at 9:45 a.m. and is void basically almost 12 hours until 9:44 p.m. So a day long with the moon void, of course, in Taurus, which is just begging for you to relax and don't do much. There's also a picture in the sky between Venus and Saturn, which fortunately ends in the early morning. That's when people may feel, I'm not deserving of this, or I can't take the time or spend the money. That stops after the early morning, and then you get to just sink into wherever you are and just be. So have a beautiful week. Definitely savor what's around. My father used to always say, don't forget to smell the flowers. Not a lot of flowers happening where we are in the Northeast right now, except for chrysanthemums. But for those of you who live in other parts of the world, definitely smell the flowers out in nature, or get yourself a nice sprig from the florist, or fruit stand nearby. So Susie, now I turn it on to you.
Okay. Again, I'm here with my very little puppy who's 3 months old and getting more and more of a monster. Yes, I'm talking about you, more and more of a monster. So hopefully she'll allow us in peace while we do our meditation. So the week is very intense ahead of us. And so whenever I hear the word intensity, I always hear that sovereign field within saying peace, peace, peace. So let's do a meditation on finding the peace within ourselves. Finding that deep peace that is innate to us, always a part of us. So let's begin. So as we begin this meditation, we ask everybody to find a place where they can be sitting quietly. And in that pace of quiet, find yourself deepening into the self, not into what's around you, not into what you even think is around you, but just into the self. And with that self, there is a peace. There is a peace that is natural. There is a peace that is always there, that you were born with, that comes forth with everything that we are. It's always in the background. It would be like the nut or the seed that's in the very center of your being. And just deepen into that. You can imagine that to be literally like the pit in a peach, or like the pit in a cherry, something that is constant, that is dense in structure. And imagine that within yourself. It's a place that is natural to you. It's a place that is the sovereign field. It's a place that is the absolute, timeless, spaceless core, the sovereign field core. And in that sovereign field core, there is ultimate peace. So whenever we feel any distractions or any pull to another emotion, whenever we feel the need to jump into a different direction, then we can always return to this peace, the peace that is within us. And it's a very deep place. It's beneath all of the layers. Like if you imagine that you have all of these layers like an onion, and all of these layers could be various emotions, various experiences, various places where your mind goes, various mental states. See these literally as layers upon layers upon layers. And at the very base, at the very beginning of those layers, at the very core of you is the peace. And this peace is natural. It's the deepest part of you. So when you are feeling the intensity, when you are feeling the distraction, when you are feeling in some way the pull away from this peace, know that you can come back always and deepen into this place. And as you deepen into this place, feel that energy of awakening as the cells start to open up. And as the cells start to open up, letting in more food, more nutrients, more oxygen, allowing more waste, feel the body literally vitalizing. The body's literally coming into a place of vital health. And as it comes into vital health, the emotions, the thoughts, everything aligning to this place of peace. And as you align to this place of peace, there is a sense of not only wellness, but there is a sense of fullness, a sense of awareness, a sense of I am able now to tune into all that I am. And all that I am. And as you tune into this all that I am, there is a expansive energy that allows you to open up and to come into more and more of yourself. The parts of yourself that you might not have experienced before, the parts of yourself that you need now, because everybody on the planet now is really expanding into what we would call the greater potential. It is as if everybody has been living within a certain percentage of themselves, and now there is an awakening into more and more of that self. That self might require a change in the thought process, a change in behavior, and manifest in many, many ways, in a change of relationships, a change of where you live, a change of how you live for sure, changes in diet, changes in work, changes in hobbies, changes in things that you learn, changes in things that you teach. It's a huge potential shift right now. And much of this information might be coming up from a depth that is unknown to you. It might seem almost like, could this possibly be me? Where is this coming from? So just allow yourself now to be in a place of newness, in a place of awakening, in a place of opening. And when things become overwhelming, that it's too much for you, that it's too much for this newness of you, then again come back to this place of peace. This place of peace that is so deep that the core of you, the depth of you. And as you come into the depth again, feeling the expansion and feeling every single cell in your body literally aligning with the electromagnetic field of the earth, and feel yourself turning literally into a blessing, into the blessing creation. Feel yourself sending this high energy, this blessing of love, this blessing of peace now into every cell of your body, and amplifying it. It's not that you're getting information from outside. This is all information from inside of you. And as you amplify this energy in your own body, imagine it coming just from the heart center, that your heart is creating this energy, this light. And as you send it out to your body, repairing damage immediately, bringing vital health, any parasites that might be there, any bacteria or a fungus or any virus, just allow those now to be immediately dissolved, and that your body is in vital health, your mind is in vital health. And then take this moment to be in service, and take this moment to send this loving light, this vital health energy, this peace and calm to all of your brothers and sisters on the planet. To many people who are in dire situations now, some are situations that we would call acute, and they've just recently happened due to various conditions in the weather and the world. And some are conditions due to the cultures and the religions and the economics and the politics of countries. And just feel yourself sending this peace and calm and this vibration to your brothers and sisters. You might not have the ability to fly to Puerto Rico and take some supplies, or run to India, or rush to Venezuela with baby supplies. You might not have the ability to do these things, but you do have the ability in every moment to send your blessings, your thoughts of love, to send your thoughts and feelings of peace and calm, and to help your brothers and sisters in this way. And when you do this to your loved ones, know that some part of you is actually being transported. When you are doing this, you are literally altering the atmosphere and changing people's lives. It is like the element of prayer, the element of blessing, the element of sending a suggestion energetically. And it has already been proven by our scientists that this actually does happen. They have done experiments where they have shown that when people have been remote viewing, literally there is a fluctuation in the light field in the room. So know that your prayers, the essence of your intentions, really does have an effect. Send this to your body, send this to your mind, to your emotions, and send it out wide world to all of your brothers and sisters, sending out peace and love during these times of intensity and these times of difficulty. And know that you can amplify this, know that you can strengthen it, and bring more and more and more energy to yourself and to others. And as you do this, bringing love, bringing peace, and of course, bring gratitude as well. Taking a deep breath, we thank you. We thank you, and we really do send out a lot of prayers and love to all of our brothers and sisters all over the world who are going through some very dire circumstances right now. And we pray that our countries are able to send aid to where aid is needed. So Pam, taking a deep breath here.
Yes, yes. It's one thing I loved in the meditation was how you talked about how when we send out prayers, hopes, loves, peace, that a part of us actually goes. It's since we began talking about time travel, it was just interesting. It's the essence that connects us, and we are all one. And when we remember that, we can do amazing things. When we forget it, it creates all kinds of divisions and difficulties. And it's interesting to contemplate what the world would be like if people really did recognize their connection to all peoples, and animals and nature. But that's a whole other discussion, which of course is something we do.
Well, it's what we work on every week, right? Every time we send out these meditations, we're sending out these vibes, and it does have an effect. We know that, and it's just always encouraging to know that whenever we do sit and meditate, that it really does have an effect. So we can change the world. We can change the world from literally from here, from within. So let's remember that we're very powerful. So if you'd like to contact me, Susie Mazzoli, for a healing session, you can contact me at susiemazzoli-healer.com, and I'm available in New York City for sessions and also by remote internationally. And if you would like to study with me, I have the school called The Art of Energetic Healing NY.com, and our course is actually full for October, but if you'd like to join us for the next course we start in January, then please contact me, Art of Energetic Healing School NY.com. We're online as well as in person in New York City. And I highly encourage any of you, if you have not done so yet, to do your natal chart with Pam. And I do a checkup every 6 months to find out what's in store for me, and really also where I should be putting my energy. So I know a lot of people, they have like a lot of interests, a lot of skills, and it's always good to know, like, where should you be putting your eggs? A couple of eggs in this basket, a couple of eggs in that basket. So Pam's really great to talk about, like, if people are thinking about what's going on in the next year for them personally, their love life, their careers, their families. So I highly recommend that. And I will see you next week, I hope, on Monday, which will also be the second week already in October. Can't believe it. And Pam, how do people connect with you?
Well, people can find me at insightoasis.com or spotonastrology.com to see whatever I've got running that's a special. But yes, I do work with people. Some people come to see me once a year or every 6 months, as Susie said. And then I work with people in an ongoing basis who are working on a specific goal or something they want to manifest in a designated period of time. So I have programs for 6 weeks, and I have another program for 3 months, which we basically are taking you through whatever the goal may be. And I'm really looking at it in a timing capacity to help you move in the best way possible. Because as you heard with the forecast, there's no point making your pitch to a venture capitalist on a day when the moon is void of course, because that person just isn't going to feel the connection to your proposal. And the same thing with putting on a big event, an evening when nobody's going to care enough to go out the house and go to your event. So timing is everything. And Insight Oasis is where you can find out more about that. So I look forward to seeing you next week. For those of you who are interested in the subscription where you just get an MP3 that you can listen to on Sunday night before you go to sleep so that you're really jazzed for the week, you can find out about that at stokethefire.guru. So have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next Monday. Bye, Susie.
Bye, everybody. And for those of you that are very interested in loving my dog, here she is yet again, getting bigger. Miss Nutmeg, say hi. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.